Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear us and see us.
Hi, hello.
If you can let us know on the chat if you can hear us and see us. Thank you, Maciej. Okay, it's perfect. Great. So let's still wait a minute or two for those who are joining. During this time, you can let us know on the chat from location you are connecting today. I see a few Polish names and surnames, but also those outside of the Poland for sure. Oh, perfect. People from all over the world. It's really nice to see all of you. I'm from Wrocław, so Kuba, I know where Sobótka is. I don't know if Szymon knows. Szymon,
Not too much, to be honest.
It's really close to Wrocław, where I am located. So great. I see that there are still people joining, so we'll start in a minute. I hope you see the presentation, the main slide for now. And we will be starting. Before we jump into the presentation, I would say that the topic of today's webinar is connected with the migration to the cloud without messing up with the releases, because we see that this is sometimes a problem for customers to plan everything properly to make sure that nothing is affected. So let's start with the introduction. We are representing Divinity. Divinity is Atlassian Platinum Solution Partner and Platinum Marketplace Partner. This means we are not only providing the licenses, but also professional services around Atlassian, and we are producing marketplace apps which you can find on the Atlassian Marketplace. There are more than 350 people on board. 18 years in the Atlassian ecosystem. I am working in Divinity in Atlassian area for 14 years already, I believe. So plenty of time. We are conducting migration. This is not a surprise for anyone, I believe. There is a statement around the 50, but this number is growing every week right now. I'm head of Atlassian services. My team is providing professional services around Atlassian, and with me today is Simon.
Hi, hello, Szymon here. I'm Atlassian DevOps team leader at Divinity, and these days my team is mostly responsible for cloud migration, but still we manage also everything what happened in Atlassian stack background.
Perfect. So just a few housekeeping rules. We always have a webinar for bonus for those who are staying until the end of webinar. So let's wait until the end for the details. Really important information. The webinar is recording. You will get the access to it after the webinar. Also, if you have any questions to the content we are providing, please let us know on the chat. At the end of the webinar, we will do the Q&A, and hopefully we will be able to answer all of those questions during the time of the webinar. Let's move forward to the agenda of today's webinar. As I said already, it's connected with the migration without disrupting the releases. We will go through several sections. First, we'll be connected with the pre-migration cleanup, then keeping everyone in the loop, setting done rule, especially for the key release parts, choosing the right migration model, timelines, and what is going on after going live with the migration. If you are interested in anything, any other content connected with the mostly migration to cloud, you will get the access to the Knowledge Hub. Just after the webinar, you will get the link to it. There you can find plenty of webinars we've already recorded, and you can deep dive into the content of it there. So let's start with the first part. What does it mean, no disruption to release management?
It means that our ability to plan, build, test, and deploy software stays intact, not just after the migration, but also during it as well. Here we've got that what it looks in the practice. Your sprints stay on the track, so we don't have any delays, no missed commits. Your tooling like Jira, Bitbucket, Jenkins, other pipelines all stay fully functional and connected. Core development activities keep flowing without any interruptions. Quality and compliance standards are upheld, no defect spikes, no shortcuts here. Collaboration across developers, QAs, and ops remains smooth, and any downtime is minimal, carefully planned, and clearly communicated. So, how do we actually achieve that? Let's walk through it step by step on the next slide. And first, we've got here pre-migration cleanup and why pre-migration cleanup is not negotiable. So cleanup is absolutely critical before you migrate. Why? First, it reduces migration downtime and complexity. Second, it prevents flood and post-migration issues. And third, it sets your cloud instance up for long-term performance. Now let's break that down further. A clean start is critical. Think, can you go back, Kasia?
Of course.
Thank you. Think of it like moving to the new house. You wouldn't pack up all junk before furniture just to bring it into your new space. The same goes with your Jira instance. So cleanup helps you migrate only what's useful, usable, and in good shape. And the direct impact on release stability, this is where it gets serious. If you skip cleanup, you're likely bringing in hidden issues, like, for example, outdated workflows, unused fields, misconfigured apps, all of which can break your release process or slow down your tooling. Of course, fewer variables mean fewer surprises, and that directly reduces the risk of release failures in the future. And on that table, here's we've got practical breakdown of what cleanup actually looks like. These are the key actions you need to take, and also how to validate that each one is complete. Think of this as your pre-migration checklist, focused on the removing clutter, fixing broken configurations, and getting your instance migration ready. It's not just about cleaning, it's about proving you're ready to move without risking your releases. On the next slide, we got part 2, but of course you can go back to that after the webinar in our Knowledge Hub and go to deep dive each point of here. And here, not all cleanup is equal. So first of all, standardize your Jira workflows. Complex, custom, or broken workflows are prime suspects in failed release reporting. Second, audit marketplace apps, especially test management or CI/CD tools on your organization. If they fail in cloud, your releases process will just break. So also a third point here, clean up custom fields. The more unnecessary ones you have, the slower Jira becomes, and the harder is to keep integration running clearly. And here we've got an example of our clients. These clients had over 2,000 projects in the Jira instance. And before migrating to the cloud, we want to do a special assessment for them to clean up all necessary things, all the necessary on all necessary projects. But during the planning, also we flagged that more than the half of these projects hadn't been touched in years. Many were abandoned, duplicated, or just they were creating for testing and they don't have any issues. But they decide that they do nothing with that and they go to migration with everything. And now it is more than the year, I think, after the migration, and the same unnecessary projects are still there, making it harder to manage permission, configure global settings, maintain release discipline. So we need to think about it also, that this is not just a migration, but also transformation of our organization, and we want to simplify everything during that process.
Okay, so we can go to the checklist.
We've got also this pre-migration checklist, what we need to do and what need to check, but you can just access this after the webinar on the Knowledge Hub and look what we have there.
Perfect. So let's move forward to the second section. So keeping devs, QAs, and ops in sync. It's really important because the objectives of communication during migration can minimize confusion and stress, especially that users should clearly understand what's happening, when, and how it affects their work. It's building trust in the migration process itself, because if there is a proactive communication, it always reduces resistance, surprises, and misinformation. And always communication is protect critical processes such as releases, schedules, documentation updates, support workflows, or product launches. So we need to have this in mind, and the goal is we need to share the information and the communication with the proper people and the words that they will understand. By thinking about it, I am always pointing out to that there are not only technical people who are working in our instances. So for non-technical users like HR, marketing people, they need Confluence for or access or ticket submission, for Jira for ticket submission, when they need to know when Confluence will be read-only or offline, where they can find the information appropriate for them, and how they will be affected. Let's have in mind that different people have different needs in terms of the communication. So when planning all those scenarios, all those communication plan, you need to have. Let's deep dive into those, what they really need, and when you need to communicate with them to make sure that they understand what's going on, what will change for them, and they will be prepared for that. So any surprises during the projects or even during the testing can break the can make the trust in the process we are doing less and less during the project. So we've created some kind of the guidelines on which area what to point out to whom. So you can deep dive into that to make sure that those people and those milestones will be covered during the migration process itself, and what you need to whom go with what and for what. Also, there is a second the second table, which is exactly saying what is going on and how it can affect, and what is the solution for those. So let's have in mind that communication is crucial during the process, because it's not only the technical part of the of migration or transformation to the cloud, but also being in touch with everyone who really needs to know what is going on. And Shimon, I would simply move to you right now with setting the done rule.
Yeah. Setting the done rule, section 3. Just because your data is in the cloud doesn't mean you are ready to ship. You need to validate that every release critical tool and process is still working end to end. So migrated, it doesn't mean it's ready to release. Moving your data is just step one. Unless your tools, workflows, integrations are working properly, your releases can still fail, even if the migration is succeed on the logs. So why don't matters? Clear done criteria make the difference between just migrating technically and being truly ready to continue your release cycle without disruption. Risk of not defining done. If you skip this, you risk missing key functionalities or also discovering critical issues only after a release is already in motion. And of course, it's too late then. The goal is simple. Confirm that your cloud setup actively supports your entire release process, just like or even better before. Here we got table with validation checklist for release critical system and tool. This is here's here's what validation looks like in the practice. This checklist help you confirm that every release critical system and tools still works after the migration, from Jira boards to pipelines to test environments and permissions. Don't assume things will just work. Check them one by one and involve the people who actually use these tools in your release process. If it's on the list, it should be tested before you go live. So on that slide and on the next, we've got examples of things we need to check, what we can do and test. On that next table, this is where things often go wrong when done isn't clearly defined or even defined too narrowly. So these tables show real-world examples of weak or vague criteria and how they can lead to failed or delayed releases. But more important, we also show you how to fix those gaps. The key is to connect your done criteria directly to actual releases outcomes, not just technical tasks. So also we've got this on that table, on that slide here, on the next slide, and you can go deep dive to this after the webinar. And here also we've got a real example from real life, what can go wrong if your done criteria aren't solid. In one of the migration, the team forgot to validate that the CI/CD tool was still integrated with their Jira. Everything looked fine, data was there, dashboards work, but when developers tried to deploy, builds didn't trigger. So the integration had silently broken, and no one noticed until the release was blocked. It's a strong reminder migrating data isn't the same as migrating readiness. You need to check every part of this release pipeline, not just that it move, but that it's work.
Thank you, Szymon. So let's move to the section 4, choosing the right migration model. It's always crucial because we have different ways of migrating. There are 3 of them pointed at the slide: lift and shift, where we are taking everything and just putting them all those data into the cloud. Phase, where we need to partially migrate everything during the steps we are planned, and optimize and shift, where we are thinking what we really need to migrate and then migrate those data. There's also the 4-way, which is creating everything in cloud from scratches, but we will not be pointing to this method at all during the webinar. So we need to think what is the best for you and for us for us as an organization during the migration process. When you are choosing the right model, you can deep dive into this table we have on this and on the next slide to see what is the impact of you, what you need to consider, and what type of the migration will be the best for your organization, because with that there is some risk or some benefits you can gain. So let's not deep dive into that right now, but let's see at the table. It will be much easier to point to something. So if you want to be too fast with the migration, then lift and shift will be faster because we are not preparing anything. On the other hand, with the risk of the project, it's always growing because we are not preparing as deeply as in other ways, other migration models. We need to find the best way for every company. It's not that there is always lift and shift is the best and the most optimal. Let's think how big your organization is, how complex your environment is, and based on that, let's try to make sure that you are taking the best option for you. Also, you can use our decision tree model, which we have created. You will find that on the slide after the webinar and on the knowledge base, where by answering those questions, you can find what model is the best for you. Also, with the downtime tolerance and release impact model, because it will answer the question, what is the best? And by answering all those questions, you will get, I believe, the best answer. And by that, let's move to the timeline planning, because we don't want to have want to avoid the delays during the project. So when it comes to migration timelines, poor planning is one of the top reasons projects get delayed in general, or worst, you are doing it in a rush and then error prone for sure. That's why timeline planning isn't just project management task, it's directly protects the releases. We need to break down it into 3 core parts. First one is the key elements. So let's make the assessment of the complexity of our migration. Let's make the realistic plan, not the optimistic one. We need let's plan the strategic buffers and go carefully with planning. Go live because it's the crucial part during the process. The second thing we need to think about the typical migration phases. Those phases help keep the process structured. Skipping or rushing in anything increase the chance of post-migration chaos, and we don't want to be there for sure. And integration test runs and UAT. This is critical. If you need to run multiple test migration, validate workflows, apps, and integrations. Then conducting the user acceptance testing, ideally involving release managers, QAs, and dev leads to confirm that your tools and pipelines still support end-to-end release scenario. We will be pointing to that during the webinar a few times, because we believe that only those people are the ones who will do this during the best way, because they will be testing what they are doing on a daily basis. You will find a table which will help you plan timeline, because even the best plan, with the best plan, things still can go wrong. So it's critical to know where the delays can happen and prevent that. So those two slides, which the first one I am showing, they are most common risks we saw already during the projects, and you can stay ahead of that. So deep dive into that. And let's move to the part with the example, because we had a company we were working with, and there was a detailed migration plan, except that they forget to coordinate it with their release calendar. The migration weekend just happened to overlap with a critical feature release for a flagship product. The dev team was mid-sprint, QA was in the middle of regressing testing, and the system went into read-only mode, which is typically happened during the production migration. What was the result? The release got delayed, customers got frustrated, and the product team had to work overtime to realign everything. So even worse, confidence in the migration effort took a serious hit internally, and we didn't prevent that. So that's why it's really necessary to think about all those stuff at the beginning and plan properly. This is a
Here we've got example of the timeline planning, how it looks like in the example, let's say. So we can just look at it, and before 18 weeks, for example, we need to know that we complete data cleanup task. We've got sick of all our teams, which will be actively do everything on that migration. Before 16 weeks, we need to know that app assessments is finished, and we know what apps we need to migrate and how to the cloud. We need to communicate downtime date to all users. Before 12 weeks, we need to have a full test migration in sandbox environment. We need to perform UAT tests with dev and QA teams, and need to address any issues we found. 2 weeks before, we need to do freeze on our Jira and Confluence for any change. We need to finalize runbook document for Atlassian support, and we need to announce detailed schedule to all users again. 1 day before, we need to we need to be prepared for cutover. We need to do all necessary backups. We need to send reminder to all users again that on that time Jira will go to read-only mode. And during the migration day, during the cutover, we need to have a plan hour by hour what will we do on that moment. After that, we've got post-migration phase, also detailed. 1 to 5 days after migration, we go to the post-implementation support phase, which means it's hypercare. We need to capture and resolve any issues our users report us. And 1 to 2 weeks next, we need to do formal project retrospective, handover system fully to normal operations, and we need to also consider turn off old DC applications after that time.
Thank you, Simon. Let's move to the section number 3. What is going on after going live?
So go live isn't the finish line. It's actually the start of the most critical phase. Once you are in the cloud, the focus shifts from migration to stabilization to adoption, our cloud instance. So critical for release excellence, we've got 3 points here. So first of all, we need to redefine and reshare responsibilities. Everyone should know their role after go live. Second, to minimize post-migration issues. So clear ownership means fewer surprises to fix. And third, improve cloud performance. Clean process lead to better tool performance here. And the next bullet point is rollback procedures and sandbox testing. The first point is why? Because config errors, bad deploys, or data issues can still happen. Types, rollback app configs and data or CI/CD versions. And action, document steps, define triggers, and test regularly in non-production environment. And a last bullet point here, leveraging sandbox environments. So uses safety test updates, config changes, or train your team. And best practices, mirror production and move changes step by step from dev to UAT and production. On the next slide, we've got two tables. So once you're live in the cloud, success depends on clear operational ownership. These tables in examples shows you who owns what and how to measure if things are working. From Jira admins to DevOps leads and release managers, everyone, of course, needs defined responsibilities and KPIs to keep releases running smoothly. If you don't assign these roles clearly, small issues can easily snowball into release blockers. So you can just check examples here from what team, what is the key responsibilities on the cloud, key skill adoption, recommended tools, and key performance indicators for KPIs. Of course, you can extend that, use it as document to explore more and add your own things after and during the migration. After the migration, keeping releases stable depends on clear ownership. This slide shows the key operational roles, their responsibilities, and the KPIs they should track. From IT and DevOps through release managers and cloud governance, everyone has a part to play during that migration. And if the right metrics in place, you can spot issues early and keep your release process healthier.
Thank you, Simon.
Here we've got also a table, maybe not table, bullet points with examples of critical checks and support in the initial post-go live window. So here the first few days after go live are crucial. And the keys, checks, and support mechanism you need to have in the place right from day one. You need to confirm access for all release roles, make sure the key integration works, and have a dedicated support team on the standby. Daily checks help you catch issues earlier, respond faster, and keep everyone confident in the new environment.
So let's move to the rollback readiness.
So rollback readiness for a CI/CD tools and key apps. No matter how well you plan, you still need to have a rollback plan just in case. This table outlines what rollback readiness looks like across your core system, CI/CD, Jira, Bitbucket, and other key apps. It's not just about having backups, it's about knowing who acts, how, and when if something go wrong. The more prepared you are, the faster you can recover without impacting your releases. And here we also have a real life example. One of company once completed their cloud migration and confidently declared success. Jira was up, Confluence was online, so they opened it for all users in the Monday morning. By the noon, CI/CD integration stopped working and developers couldn't deploy. Unfortunately, there was no rollback plan here and no sandbox to test potential fixes. They spent the next 40 or 48 hours to manually patching configuration on the live environment during the pressure with users blocked. So the release window that week missed completely. So we need to worry about it to have this plan ready to use, even we are 100% sure that every go should go smoothly during that production migration window. Okay, I already covered this.
Yes, I believe so. We are getting to the close of the end of the content we have, but we want to explore what is particularly interesting for you. So if you let us know on the chat on which part we should deep dive during the next webinars, we will be trying to cover your needs during the webinars we are planning for the next calendar year. So if any of this section is interesting for you, just let us know on the chat. By saying that, I am slowly moving to the bonus. So if there is still things you want to know, you are confused by anything, you can always use our 2-hour bonus session, which is free of charge. And we are going through a practical overview, answering the questions, starting to work on the review of your migration plan if you are there already. So if you want to use us and our expertise in this area, this is a bonus we can offer. As said already, it's a free of charge, not a sales pitch. It's rather sharing the experience we do have. So you can always reach out to me, and we will find the proper time slot for everyone. There is a knowledge hub. We are pointing to it. There are webinars, replays, graphics, those checklists we are pointing to. So yes, there is plenty of content there already, and you will get the access to it just after the webinar. And we are moving to the part with the Q&A. There is already a few questions. If you will still have anything more, just put the question on the chat, and we are starting to answering them. So first of all, Szymon, this will be for you. How does archived objects migrate?
So when we say that about this functionality in data center, we archived issues and archived projects. These things will not migrate during the migration. If we want to migrate archived objects, we need to unarchive them, put them to the list on the Jira Cloud Migration Assistant, and after the migration, we need to archive them again. But still, a lot of our clients archive these projects issues, and they just leave them on the data center because when our license will be out of the date anyway, this instance will be on read-only mode. And if we need something from that instance, we can just turn it up and look for that archived data, because of a lot of our clients don't need this on the cloud environment. They don't want to have to mess on that new cloud instance.
Thank you, Szymon. So how to migrate assets database?
So, of course, official way from Atlassian for these days is just export to TSV file and import this to the cloud. But during that way, we lost relations between objects. So as Divinity, for example, we've got special scripts to recreate that connections between that. Of course, there is also beta program from Atlassian. You can try to catch them and try to be on that beta program. And third, we've got also apps in the marketplace for migration, but also they have some limitations. So we need to be aware about it and look to documentation about that.
Thank you very much. How can we increase motivation of users or direction? I believe this was connected with the with the part connected with the communication plan. So my personal experience is saying that if you are explaining what is going on and why we need those people, the motivation to help us during the process is growing. If we are leaving end users unattended, they don't know what is going on, they don't know that there is a project of migration going on, you will not get get them during the moment you really need them. So it's all about saying what is going on, when, how, and making sure that we know those people who we are saying that they are power users, because they are those who will be able to check the most important processes we are covering in our instances. Okay, next question. Is there a US-based team that we can work with on this? I would say this is a question we should deep dive on private, but yes, we can help. So let's stay in touch after the webinar. Okay, Simon, question to you. I am migrating around 10K, I believe, issues per hour. Is there a way to speed this?
So it depends about a few things. First of all, we need to be sure that we got enough resources on our servers. So this means that our servers are not slowing down the migration phase. Also, we need to have a good internet connection. But also, third, we need to know there is no bottleneck on the Atlassian side. So we need to contact Atlassian support. We need to send them runbook, and also when we see that during the test migration phase it's very slowly, and we are sure this is not problem in our side, we need to contact Atlassian support to reach them out and ask them for help with that. Of course, sometimes we cannot speed it up, and at the beginning we just migrate all of necessary and most important projects, and then during, for example, normal weekday, we migrate all of that not less necessary, let's say.
Thank you, Simon. Next question. Do you know if there is a consolidated list of features that bring the most value in cloud compared to data center across Atlassian products and main apps to motivate the users and direction with added value? So, being completely honest, I didn't see a material like that. Still, the case is that it differs among the customers. What is the most valuable for them after the migration? So sometimes even making things simpler in cloud in comparison to data center, which were hosted for years and developed for years, it's a value for a customer. We've heard that many times. Access to new products which you cannot have on the data center, which are on cloud native, like JPD, Rovo, or Strategy Collection. It's something we are hearing. But if you need anything special to make sure that your organization will see the value into the migration, we will be more than happy to have the conversation with you and to find those features and those examples for you. Next question, Szymon, it will be for you. How to migrate script runner, Groovy script, jobs, listeners, behaviors?
So this is A very hard question, because it depends of what kind of Groovy scripts you've got, what kind of behaviors. First of all, we need to audit what we've got there. If all the scripts are necessary, we need to know about limitation about script runner in the cloud, especially about behaviors. And then if we want to do it ourselves, we need to just check out their documentation about that. If you don't want to do that by your own, you can just contact us as a Divinity. We can just help you to readjust all of that things on the cloud, or you can ask us also, for example, for a training session for your developers, and someone from our team can just help you and show how we do that on the daily basis.
Thanks. Next question is a long one, so I will divide it into the two parts for sure. How much time it takes to migrate Jira from data center to cloud? Is it related to pricing plan? This is a really great question, but it depends. It depends on the size of the instance, depends on the apps you have on your environment. There will be plenty of connection with the tools outside. This can make a difference during the planning. So that's why at the beginning you need the assessment of cloud assessment, let's say, which is the starting point for the preparation for the project. It's by that you are able to make sure how complex the project is, how to plan it, how much it can take, and how much it can cost. So this is the first and the most important part when you are thinking about the migration. Then the second part of this question, is it necessary to migrate everything at once? Can I migrate majority of the data day, week before the migration data, and migrate the difference in data afterwards? Szymon, do you want to cover that?
Yeah, of course. Maybe I will split it with the last question, because we got one more about can we, instead of migrating all instance at once, we can just split it, I believe, to some projects and some spaces. So of course, we don't need to migrate everything at once. We can just split it to smaller parts, and we can just put on the day one 10 projects, 10 spaces, on the day two the same. But we need to know that when we migrate these projects and spaces once, we cannot update them for example, if new issues will arise on the DC, or new spaces, we cannot migrate them again. We need to delete whole project, whole space, and add them to migration once again and migrate them once again. So we need to know about that, but we don't need to move all at once. We can just split it with that Jira configuration, Jira Cloud Migration Assistant and Confluence Cloud Migration Assistant. We can just choose what we want to migrate, space by space or project by project.
Okay, so the second part, can I migrate majority of the data day, week before the migration date, and migrate the difference in data afterwards?
Yeah, how to say that, this is not a problem to do that, because you can just split it how you want. Of course, you need to worry your users that some part of the data, because we can believe that one user is actively using these projects from week 1 and from project week 2. We need to know that users know about it.
Okay, thanks, Szymon. I see there is a similar question. Let's see if is it or will be possible?
I already combined this with that.
Yeah, I believe you did that, but I'm just seeing the new question. So, and there is probably no. Oh, there is one more question which just landed. We have Zephyr and Xray plugins in two separate Jira instances. Is it possible to migrate the data into a single plugin, X-Ray?
Yeah, some clients of our clients do that on one or other way. Of course, we need to know about limitation because these plugins have some different functions, and we need to know that our users know about it. There is also some kind of limitations about the migration from one to another because of that functions, but it is possible in general.
Thank you very much. It looks like we covered all of the questions which already landed. So if you have anything more, reach out to us after the webinar. We will be more than happy to cover all your questions. As we are approaching the end of the webinar today, a few minutes before the planned deadline, thank you very much for joining us. It was really nice to having you with us today. For the whole year, we've hosted more than 10 webinars already, and this is the last one for this year, but we are planning the next one for January. So let's be in touch. Let's plan what we got some feedback on the chat already, so we will use it. Thank you for your attendance. This is all for today. So I hope we will see all of you during the next webinars.
Thank you very much, and see you on the next year.